Here's an example of graphing y equals 2 sine of 2 parentheses x plus pi over 3 plus 2. So, how do we do it? Well, let's come to our notes for graphing sine or cosine. First, rewrite the equation by distributing the 2 inside. So, if you have something inside, boom, boom, you need to distribute it. So let's do that. So we'll do that right here. So I'll take this 2, boom, boom. So this will become y equals 2 sine 2x plus 2 pi over 3 plus 2. So we do that first off. Let me bring that actually down here. Y equals 2 sine 2x plus 2 pi over 3 plus 2. We got a lot of 2's. Okay, next step, if you look at the instructions, is to compare to the general form. Y equals a cosine bx plus c plus d. Identify a, b, and c. So let's do that. So y equals a, in this case sine bx plus c plus d. So it's really easy to tell what a, b, c, and d are. Next, identify the midline. That's D. That'll be the middle of the graph. The D is. So here is the middle of the graph. Plus 2. Let's go put that midline on our graph. So right here at plus 2, that's going to be the middle of the graph. And then next it says, from the middle, the graph rises and the graph goes down, whatever A is. Notice the value of A is how far the graph goes above and below the middle, from the middle. So let's go find the A. That's 2. So that's how far the graph rises and falls from the middle of 2. So it goes up and down 2 from the 2. So that'll be easy. So it'll be up here will be the top of the graph. That's 2 above the middle. And right here will be the bottom of the graph, 2 below the middle. So this is the top. This is the bottom. And this is the middle. Maybe, yeah, let's just leave it there. Top, bottom, middle of the graph. Okay, so what's next? So next, go to the period, 2 pi over b. So the period is 2 pi over b, which is 2 pi over 2. b is 2 there. So that's just pi. So that is the width of one cycle. Next, we go for the horizontal shift, which is minus c over b. So horizontal shift minus c over b minus, and then c right there, 2 pi over 3 over b, which is 2. Okay, so how do we deal with a fraction over fraction? You grab this 2 in the denominator, you flip it up, so you take the minus 2 pi over 3 and you multiply by a half, right? Because this is 2 over 1. When you flip it up, it goes upside down because multiplying is upside down of dividing. And so the 2's cancel and we get minus pi over 3. So that's the horizontal shift. That means pi over 3 to the left, right? The negative means left. Positive means right, negative means left. That's all in the notes I gave you. See, we got negative pi over 6 there, which means to the left. Negative is left, positive is right. So the graph starts to the left. So we have a graph then that starts pi over 3 units to the left. Now it's time to talk about what our graph looks like. Remember the various looks of the various graphs. Let me just put them right here. A positive sine graph starts in the middle, goes high first, then low, back to 0. A negative sine graph also starts in the middle but goes low first, then high. A positive cosine graph, now remember, cosine graphs don't start in the middle. Sine graphs start in the middle. Cosine graphs start high or low. So a positive one starts high, and a negative cosine graph starts low. Remember those basics of the basic look? Okay, so what do we have? We have a positive sine graph. So we're looking at this model. So we're going to start in the middle, end in the middle, start in the middle, go high, go low, back to the middle. And where do we start? Pi over 3 to the left is where it starts, because that's the horizontal shift. So pi over 3 to the left, at the middle, right? Always at the middle. Pi over 3 left. So here it is, minus pi over 3 right there. There's where the graph starts one cycle. Horizontal shift, pi over 3 to the left, in the middle, because sine graphs start in the middle. And then its period is pi. That's the width of one cycle. So it does its whole thing, meaning it's go up, go down, back to the middle, in a width of pi. Pi. Well, where's that going to be? This graph will end at, well, here, it starts at negative pi over 3. It'll end at the starting point plus the width, because this is the starting point and this is the width. Is that making sense? It starts at minus pi over 3 and it has a total width of pi, right? Because that's the period. The period is the width of one cycle. So one cycle will start at minus pi over 3 and go a width of pi. So if we add those up, we'll get where it ends. It ends. The first cycle ends at minus pi over 3 plus, and this is 1 over 1, so multiply top and bottom by, 3. We get 3 pi over 3, so that's minus 1 pi plus 3 pi is 2 pi over 3. So that's where it's going to end one cycle. So you see how we find the ending point there? So it ends at, you find where it starts and the width of one cycle. So let's come back here, and so it's going to end at 2 pi over 3 at x equals 2 pi over 3. So right here, this is going to be the end of one cycle. So here's one cycle from here to here, from here to here. First cycle will go there, because that's a whole pi, isn't it? That's a whole pi cycle. Can you picture it? If we moved this from here to here, and we moved it to the right two lines and to the right 2 lines, right? If we shifted that there and that there, then you'd go from 0 to pi. So it's a width of pi is my point. It's the same width of pi. So there's the graph. It's in that zone. So therefore, and this graph is going to finish in the middle, and it's going to go high halfway. Now where's halfway? Well, this looks like, or it'd be back to the middle halfway. Yeah, because that's 3 lines each way. And so halfway between that would be about right here. So it'll go high, and then halfway it'll go low. Looks like that's what's going to happen for our graph. Let me graph it. So it's going to go high, go through the middle, go low, back to the middle. So there's our sine graph. So it starts at minus pi over 3. It ends one cycle at 2 pi over 3. Total width of the first cycle is pi. That's the period, the width of one cycle. The middle is 2. The middle is 2. The top is 4. The bottom is a height of 0, because it goes 2 above and 2 below its middle. There it is. There's the graph, and that's how we do that.